Forestry Commission of Ghana, under Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, is responsible for the regulation and utilization of forest and wildlife resources, the conservation and management of those resources, and the coordination of policies related to them. The Forestry Commission comprises the main public bodies and agencies performing the functions of protection, development, management and regulation of the utilization of forest and wildlife resources. These bodies and agencies are Forest Services Division, Timber Industry Development Division, Wildlife Division, Resource Management Support Center, Forestry Commission Training Center, Ghana Forestry Commission's London office. Ghana has a long history of forest management, which dates as far back as 1909, when the policy for forest reserves was set up to ensure the preservation of a sufficient area of forested land to protect water supply, and the preservation of the climate of humid forest type, which was essential for the growth of major cash crops such as cocoa and cola. The Forest Services Division was set up to protect, manage and develop forest resources in the national interest, establish planning systems for the protection, harvesting and development of the forest reserves in a sustainable manner, provides management and technical services with regards to matters of protection, management and development of forest resources, promotes public awareness, understanding and support for forest resources conservation, regulates the harvesting of forest resources, facilitates the development of plantations. The Timber Industry Development Division has evolved from various post-independence attempts dating back to the early 1960s at rationalizing the utilization of Ghana's timber resource base along sustainable and development-oriented lines. The Timber Industry Development Division was set up to provide specialized services in promoting efficiency in product quality assurance and value addition in the timber industry and trade consistent with best environmental practices. Recently, there have been considerable amount of changes in global policy environment, and these changes have had significant effects on the ways Ghana's tropical forests are managed. The FC, to be in tune with global thinking on forest sustainability, is deeply involved in making sure only legal timber is put on both the export and the local markets. There is massive support currently aimed at downstream processing to add value to forests' products and also to reduce the pressure on the resource. The Timber Industry Development Division provides technical and advisory services to enhance capacity building in the timber industry, collaborates with local and international agencies in the development, promotion, utilization and marketing of wood products, ensures the effective development and dissemination of appropriate timber industry standards, grading rules and trade regulations, promotion and sale of wood and wood products, example trade missions, trade fairs and exhibitions, provision of technical services including the coordination of foreign technical assistance for the development of the Ghana timber industry, provision of market intelligence information for the benefit of industry, policy interventions for the development of tertiary wood products, promotion of lesser used timber species on local and international markets, monitoring the flow of wood and wood products from the forest gate to export. A vital source of livelihood for most people and a good source of income for Ghana as a country. It follows, therefore, that the forest is utilized and managed on a sustainable basis. This approach would make the forest and resources therein eternally available for extraction and use to satisfy various needs. A strong point in achieving this is to provide training in technical skills and management related to the processing of especially the traditional and lesser used wood species which adorn Ghana's forests. To further enhance the sustainability supply of timber products, Ghana has established a conservation classification to ensure that the supply of Ghanaian hardwood species can be maintained. In practice, this means that harvesting of the better known and commonly used species, like the redwoods, African mahogany and sapele wood, are limited, and much more encouragement is being given to the harvesting of lesser known species. The management plans for Ghana's legally constituted forest reserves include control of minimum diameters for felling and the actual number of trees that can be felled in a given area. This means fewer traditional commercial species and a greater number of the less known timbers. Trees of smaller diameter are left to grow to commercial size and provide future harvests. As part of the overall approach to sustainable forest management, there is an agreed limit to the total number of timber which can be taken from the forests in support of exports. Because the export industry cannot expand by extracting more trees, the development of the industry depends on making more efficient use of the wood which is harvested. There is far greater interest in minimizing waste and utilizing offcuts and other wood residues, and in further processing to provide export in shaped and machined moldings, flooring, furniture components, dowels, and similar added value items. Ghana seeks greater collaboration with overseas manufacturers in order to produce designs and components precisely to the specification of overseas partners. Wildlife Division. The Wildlife Division core mandate is to work effectively with other divisions and units of FC and the various stakeholders to ensure sustainable management and development of Ghana's wildlife and their habitats so as to optimize their contribution to national socio-economic development. Core functions: manages the nation's protected areas, regulates the utilization of wildlife resources, promotes public awareness, education, communication and support for wildlife conservation, promotes ecotourism development in our protected areas, develop the wildlife management capacity at the national, district and community levels including stakeholders' participation of the effective management of wildlife within and outside the protected areas. Restores and expands Ghana's wildlife resource base, facilitates research for continuous wildlife improvement. Ecotourism. Ghana has a rich variety of forests and protected areas that have been protected and managed sustainably to provide for recreation of the diverse species of wildlife and plant species, some of which are endemic to Ghana. Visitors to ecotourism sites have a choice of picnic, foot safaris, experience the canopy walkway 30 meters above the forest floor, the only of its kind in Africa. These forests and ecotourism sites are a great escape for all the family. Resource Management Support Center is the technical wing of the Forestry Commission. It is responsible for the exploration, development, facilitation, institutionalization, implementation, and monitoring of effective and affordable forest and wildlife management systems in Ghana in accordance with the National Forest and Wildlife Policy. RMSC has 9 units that work together to achieve excellence in service delivery. Forestry Commission Training Center. Well-trained and motivated people are considered strategically important in achieving the ends of any sustainable forest and wildlife policy. This makes the training and development of people, both internal and external stakeholders, a critical prerequisite for the successful execution of FC's mandate. It is against this background that the FCTC has been established to provide the requisite technical training to all staff of FC and other key stakeholders. The FCTC is thus established to provide the staff with the required knowledge, skills and attitudes needed to function effectively in their various roles to ensure the sustainable use and management of Ghana's forest and wildlife resources. As part of the effort to expand exports of added value products by smaller companies, Ghana has created two initiatives. Forestry Commission Training Center, FCTC, being shaped to provide technical and management training, and the Wood Village, Kumasi Wood Estates Limited, which aims to offer common services to companies which set up their own production units on the large site close to Kumasi. The London office is the overseas branch of the Forestry Commission of Ghana. Its mandate with is to promote and market forests and wildlife products from Ghana's forests, as well as embark on intensive promotional drive on ecotourism and other investment opportunities in Ghana. In addition, provides customer and consultancy services on behalf of the FC to the general public, both local, UK and overseas, including Ghana, and also articulate the FC Government of Ghana policies on issues pertaining to forest governance, environment and climate change issues. The forest industry is a large employer, much of it in the informal sector. The Ghana FC has an established approach to forest management, more especially in forest reserves. A range of measures, thus Timber Legality Assurances System, TLAS, have been put in place to reduce illegal logging. These measures include the Wood Tracking System, WTS, designed to monitor timber from standing trees in the forest to processing facilities, or from point of imports to processing facilities and to local sale outlets and/or export facilities. The system enables the tracking of individual logs and consignments of processed wood products and includes product labeling, physical inspections and documentary checks. It also provides full traceability of timber from all sources and certify the origin, legal and regulatory compliance of all timber products. All of these checks gives assurances to the people of Ghana and the international community that Ghana values its forests and thereby give priority to sustainability and sound forest governance in the management of its forest and wildlife resources.